It looks like everyone just got muted and cameras turned off. Sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, I didn't notice it do that before, that it shuts off people's meetings. Okay. Okay. Well, let's get started. Good morning. This is an evidentiary hearing in case 24-2797 PET, which concerns a petition filed by Vermont Renewable Gas requesting a certificate of public good to construct and operate a 2.2 megawatt generation facility in Lyndon, Vermont. My name is Mary Jo Krolewski, and the commission has appointed me hearing officer in this case. And with me today is Wes Skidmore. I will start by taking appearances. I'll start with VRG and then go to the department and the interveners and so on.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is David Mears. I am counsel for Vermont Renewable Gas.
Morning. This is Ben Civiletti with the department.
Morning, Andrew Clyburn on behalf of Madeline Hastings and Steve Dolgan.
And good morning. My name is Adam Aguirre. I'm an attorney for Conservation Law Foundation, CLF.
Is there anybody else who needs to give an appearance? I think so, but okay.
I'm Willie Jane Patry from the Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets.
Oh, thank you.
And Don Einhorn from Agency of Natural Resources.
Okay. So just a reminder, if people who are representing witnesses today and can just keep on camera during the proceeding. Anybody else can stay off camera except when you're speaking. Same with witnesses. On camera when you're testifying, off camera when you're not. I think we went over some of the if anything needs to be shared, that everybody can use the share icon. And then we can start before we go to our first witness. We can, there was a partially stipulated list of testimony that was filed into the record. And I'm just wanted to confirm that everybody agrees to the admittance of that testimony that's on that record.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
As I noted in the preliminaries, though, Mr. Clyburn has not stipulated to the admission of the MOU with A&R and Vermont Renewable Gas and with Agency of Ag and Vermont Renewable Gas, and I do move the admission of those as well.
Okay, so I'm going to admit all of the stipulated testimony and exhibits, as well as the two MOUs. And as noted in the pre-hearing conference, there are objections on the record to the testimony exhibits of Madeline Hastings and Steve Dolgan. And that is still under review by myself, and I'll be issuing an order addressing that after the hearing has concluded in the next couple of days. Okay, I think we can begin with our first witness. So maybe Mr. Mears, you can just prepare him for testimony.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The first witness is Mr. Evan Dell'Olio. I assume you'll swear him in at this point?
Yes. Okay. If you raise your right hand, do you swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, he is ready for cross. Mr. Lyndon. I think, right?
Attorney Mears, okay, great. Just a moment. Morning, Mr. Dell'Olio. How are you?
I am well. How are you today, Attorney Clyburn?
Excellent, sir. Can you see my screen?
It is very small, but I will try to maximize my screen and see if that helps. Yes, could you just expand that slightly? I'd certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Let me just go up to the first page here. Can you see the what I'm looking at here, sir?
Yes, I can. Second
Can you just-
supplemental testimony.
Excellent. And would you agree that this is in parens revised May 4th, 2025?
Yes, I would.
Right. Okay, so page 2 of this May 4th testimony you indicate that this is a farm methane project, correct?
Correct.
But you can't assure us that 50% of the feedstock will come from farm operations, can you?
That was actually in error. This was, can you go back to the date, please, at the top of the document?
Yes, sir.
That was following my apology. No, at the time I did. However, this was before the order from the PUC, which handed down a different decision than what we understood the project would qualify as. Because of that difference of understanding, we now believe that the facility conforms to the PUC order.
Did you direct your attorney to file any changes to your testimony before this hearing?
No.
All right, I'm going to move to page 3. This is still your pre-filed testimony from May 4th, 2025. You state here, well, first of all, I want to make sure, Mr. Dell'Olio, you can see this, correct?
Excuse me, point of, David, how can you revise something that's after April 26th? That's nonsensical.
I'm sorry, I'll ask the questions here, Mr. Dell'Olio. Thank you very much. So page 3 of your May 4th, 2026 testimony, excuse me.
So can I redirect, rephrase what I shared because the date was confusing?
Of course.
Thank you. This was after the order from the PUC. It was after the order, and therefore this was an error regarding the farm methane statement.
Okay. Are there any other changes to your testimony that you'd like to make today?
None at this time.
Right at the top of this page, page 3, line 1, you state that the project is similar to other SETI projects and its partners have developed in Europe to generate heat and/or electricity. Correct?
Yes.
Are any of those projects subject to Vermont regulatory requirements?
No, they're foreign projects.
How many of those projects that you reference in line 1 employ the same HTAP technology that's proposed here?
All of them. As represented to me by SETI.
And so tell me about the size of those projects as compared to this one, in terms of energy output. We'll start there.
So those
Objection.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
None of these other projects are relevant to this matter.
I disagree. This goes to 248B5, health and safety. This is an untested technology as far as we're aware. It's represented by petitioner. I'm simply trying to elicit a little bit of testimony with respect to other projects it has represented exist around the world.
I'll allow him to continue, just please tie it to the 248 criteria you're probing on.
Attorney Clyburn, those are SETI's projects that they developed with other partners that are not party to this matter. Any particulars about the facilities would be directed to them. What has been represented to Vermont Renewable Gas is that those facilities utilize the same HTAP technology. In terms of throughputs, inputs, outputs, that would all be specific to project matters that I have had no involvement with.
Are there any other of these projects in the United States?
I would also direct that. Let me ask. Are you referring, Attorney Clyburn, to the specific high temperature pyrolysis systems that are sold by Clean Energy Technologies, or are you referring to the technology in general of high temperature pyrolysis?
Pardon me. I'm referring to the former. So the specific technology that's proposed to be deployed in this case on this site, is that technology in the same array? Is that proposed, or does it exist anywhere else in the United States at the moment?
I need further clarification.
Objection. This is a very confusing use of the word technology. There's lots of different technologies in use at this facility.
I'll ask it a different way. Mr. Delolio, this HTAP technology that's proposed, are you familiar with the HTAP technology that's proposed?
Yes, manufactured by Clean Energy Technologies are the generic concept. Could I give an example similar to, for example, a steam boiler, right? The generic technology. Is that the question? I'm just slightly confused.
I'll move on. Just going to pop into a different window here.
Okay.
Mr. Delolio, can you see what's represented on the screen?
Yes, I do.
So I've marked this document ED Cross Exhibit 1. ED, of course, are your initials. Do you recognize this document, Mr. Delolio?
Objection. This is not in evidence. There's no basis for introducing information about other pulp mill closures.
Well, this is a cross-examination. I am not under any obligation to only stick to items that are previously in the evidentiary record or that were admitted earlier today. The purpose of this is to elicit information from Mr. Delolio. And in fact, he's quoted in this document, which we'll shortly get to.
That doesn't, Your Honor, still object. He can introduce evidence if he wants to impeach Mr. Delolio. He's not asked any questions related to this. There's no testimony that Mr. Delolio has offered about pulp mill closures. This is completely irrelevant to this proceeding.
Are you objecting to it being admitted or being crossed on.
I'm objecting to him eliciting testimony from Mr. Dell'Olio about a document that's not relevant to this matter.
But it is it is relevant to this matter insofar as Mr. Dell'Olio. First of all, it's a statement by a party opponent, so it's by definition admissible. Second, it goes to the sources, potential sources of feedstock for this facility, and I intend to, if the hearing officer permits me, to elicit testimony on that.
Okay, I'll allow it for now.
I'm not familiar with the document because it has the name of Lance Woolley at the top. I've never seen this version before.
Okay. So I've scrolled down here to page 2 of this exhibit number 1. Do you recognize your name there, Mr. Dell'Olio?
I do. I provided this quote to Clean Energy Technologies as they were preparing a very specific press release, and I was requested to provide a quote for Synergy Bioproducts.
Right. So this is your quote, correct?
Yes.
Good. Is it fair to say that the animus behind the quote that you provided was the closure of the Finch paper plant, right?
The request from
Objection calls for speculation.
Why did you provide the quote, Mr. Dell'Olio?
David, am I waiting for the hearing officer's response?
I'm not sure. Has this already been established? Why he provided the quote?
I'm attempting to establish foundation so that I can move to admit this exhibit, but perhaps I should simply do that now because Mr. Dell'Olio has admitted that he provided the quote. So I now move to admit the Evan Dell'Olio cross exhibit 1 into evidence.
Objection. It's not relevant to this matter. It's not used for the purposes of impeachment. It's for the purpose of the information that's in this. If he wants to ask Mr. Dell'Olio questions about the source of feedstock for the plant, he can do that. But this exhibit is irrelevant and shouldn't be admitted.
Yeah,
Well, the test
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Can
you're
you
upset.
go ahead? Go ahead. Can you explain a little bit more why you want this admitted?
Well, so the test for relevancy is whether the evidence has any tendency to prove a fact in controversy. The fact in controversy here is the source of the feedstock, particularly in light of petitioner statements before and after the standard offer contract was rescinded. And I'm simply trying to, in light of recent events, trying to establish the rough parameters for where the feedstock is going to come from to power this proposal.
If I could just add to my objection, this is also beyond the scope of cross-examination, which should be limited to crossing Mr. Dell'Olio on his direct examination.
Yeah, I'm not totally understanding why this is relevant. You're inquiring about the feedstocks, and I guess I'm just trying to understand why another project is relevant to the feedstocks for this.
Well, in this quote that Mr. Dell'Olio has adopted here today under testimony or under oath, he says that markets for low-grade products, particularly pulpwood, cull timber, logging slash and mill residues, are vital for the forest products industry. And small local companies rely heavily on access to outlets for this portion of their annual harvest. So I'm trying to ascertain whether or not he intends to sign contracts, for example, with some of these outlets that previously provided products to Finch. I think that's fair game.
I renew my objection. You know, he's attempting to try to get information into evidence that's not included in the pre-filed testimony. He's welcome to ask Mr. Dell'Olio what feedstock the company will have for contracts for without using this document.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna agree with that. Not allow it in. Yeah, it's just hard for me to understand why this is relevant to your questions on what feedstocks he plans to use.
Okay. Mr. Dell'Olio, isn't it true that in reality, pulpwood, cull timber, logging slash will actually be the primary sources for your feedstock?
Is this related to the document still on the screen?
No, this is in general.
No, that's an incorrect statement. This would be a facility that specifically is qualified and will utilize residue, tops, branches, and cull material, not pulpwood. Pulpwood is a very specific subset of timber product.
Okay. Would you agree to a CPG condition limiting the purchase of feedstock from entities that were previously contracted with Finch?
That's a hypothetical, and I guess I'm not understanding the connection there. I'm sorry.
I'll move on. Okay, I have on my screen what I've marked as cross exhibit 2. Mr. Dell'Olio, can you see what I have on my screen?
Yes, I do.
Great. I'm going to go down to the second interrogatory. And particularly, well, first of all, do you recall this? Do you have personal experience with this document?
This entire document.
Objection.
I'll rephrase the
No,
question. Excuse me. I'll rephrase the
Objection. Hold
question.
on, Mr. Dell'Olio. I'm objecting to the use of this exhibit in questioning Mr. Dell'Olio. The only possible and proper use of this would be for impeachment. There are no questions yet that have been asked that this document would be used for impeachment for.
I'm not sure Attorney Mears' position with respect to limiting me to impeaching his witness on cross-examination. I am not limited to that under the rules of evidence or of commission procedure. And moreover, I haven't moved to admit this exhibit. So I'm unsure, on some respect, even how to address the objection.
Yeah, can we proceed a little further to see how he is using this before we raise objections? And it hasn't been moved in as evidence as yet, right? Is that correct?
I have not moved it to be admitted yet.
Okay. Let's try to understand the foundation a little bit here before I make a decision.
So the question from CLF in number 2 here began. Can you see where my cursor is, Mr. Dell'Olio?
Yes, Attorney Clyburn.
The RES also prevents new wood biomass electricity generation facilities in service after January 1, 2023 from satisfying its requirements unless they achieve 60% overall efficiency and at least a 50% net life cycle greenhouse gas emissions reduction relative to the life cycle emissions from the combined operation of a new combined cycle natural gas plant. And so, this says it was prepared by Evan Dell'Olio, manager of Vermont Renewable Gas, LLC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. So in the second full paragraph of your response, Mr. Dell'Olio, you do respond with respect to the efficiency asked about with respect to 30 V.S.A. section 8005, but you don't answer the question with respect to the net life cycle greenhouse gas emissions reduction. Can you address that, please?
Objection.
Okay,
Counsel is attempting to elicit testimony using this document. He can simply ask the questions of Mr. Dell'Olio. There's no point in using this document. He's not using it to impeach him, and it is not introduced into evidence and shouldn't be considered by the PUC.
Well, excuse me, discovery responses are party statements. So they are by definition admissible. The question I'm getting at is going to greenhouse gas, which the commission needs to give due consideration to under 30 V.S.A. 248B5. I'm simply going to ask Mr. Dell'Olio if he's prepared a greenhouse gas life cycle analysis and a couple of other questions related to that. Petitioner bears the burden of production under B5, and I'm simply trying to figure out whether they have met it.
Your Honor, I just this whole approach where he's using documents as the basis for asking questions. He can just simply ask the questions directly. He's attempting to get Mr. Dell'Olio to testify to this document. When he's got Mr. Dell'Olio on cross-examination, he can ask him any question he wants.
Yeah, I guess I'm not clear about, can he go ahead and just answer the questions? I guess I'm not sure why you're objecting to him.
Well, I'm objecting because Mr. Clyburn is essentially reading the document, testifying himself, and then attempting to get Mr. Dell'Olio to agree with him. That document is a set of discovery responses. If he wants to use them to impeach Mr. Dell'Olio, if he makes statements that are inconsistent with that, he's fine to do that. But he's trying to bring other documents into evidence that weren't actually stipulated, aren't in evidence, and are it's unclear to me what purpose it is to ask the questions using the document rather than just directly asking Mr. Dell'Olio.
The hearing officer, I'll just ask the questions. We don't need to.
Yes, can you just ask the questions?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Mr. Dell'Olio, did you conduct a greenhouse gas life cycle analysis?
We have not completed a greenhouse gas life cycle analysis. We had preliminary information that was already supplied in this matter by Mr. Eric Kingsley in his exhibits. And I would add that despite us not referencing the document any longer that was raised a moment ago, that is a requirement specific to a different permitting process or approval process, I should say.
And what permitting process is that, Mr. Dell'Olio?
Renewable energy standard process. That is not the proceeding, from what I understand, that we're here today to discuss.
Would you agree that a greenhouse greenhouse gas life cycle analysis is an appropriate analysis in the PUC?
I believe
Objection. He calls for a legal conclusion.
Mr. Dell'Olio testified to a legal conclusion with respect to raising it in another proceeding. So I'm curious about why it's not in this proceeding.
Yeah,
I'll withdraw the question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you haven't filed a greenhouse gas life cycle analysis, correct?
what is on the record is on the record.
Mr. Dell'Olio, actually, Attorney Mears, in the interest of moving this along, and hearing officer as well, I'm sorry, I would like to simply show Mr. Dell'Olio and other witnesses things on my screen so that it can move it along. I'm happy to simply ask the questions, but if it may be easier to share my screen, particularly with respect to discovery responses and pre-filed testimony and the like. I'm happy to proceed, hearing officer, how you order.
If you're planning on, if it's exhibits in the record that you're seeking or testimony in the record that you're seeking information or clarity on, I think that's fine to share the screen, or if it's an exhibit, a cross exhibit you plan to introduce.
Mr. DeLolio, does the greenhouse gas life cycle analysis include the energy requirements of trucking the feedstock to the plant?
The state hasn't set that requirement yet. So it would be a question, that's a hypothetical. To my best knowledge, the PUC has not released that request, despite the law already being in place. So we would look to the commission.
Do you recall your pre-filed testimony from August 26, 2024, or shall I pull it up on the screen, Mr. DeLolio?
Pull it up on the screen, please. I do recall submitting, but I think that would be helpful.
Yes, sir.
Just to identify what you're referring to.
Okay, on my screen, hopefully you can see your pre-filed testimony. Let me enlarge this. On behalf of Vermont Renewable Gas LLC, do you see that on your screen, Mr. DeLolio?
Yes, I do.
Great. And let me just go down here to page 2. Would you agree that this says August 26, 2024?
Yes, I do.
Great. I'm going to go down to page 4. And I'm going to ask you about your answer to answer 4. You state there that the project will rely on at least 51% of its feedstock being from farm uses such as Christmas trees, sugaring, and orchards. In fact, further down, you state that you expect 80% or more of this feedstock will be from these farm sources. But that's no longer true, is it?
It's no longer true under the understanding from the commission's order that the growing of fiber as a timber crop does not constitute fiber under their understanding of the use of the term fiber as I so described it. At the time that this was submitted, we were under our understanding, including timber grown as fiber, including that timber that may be grown on farmland in the state by farmers.
Did you revise this testimony, this particular piece of your testimony? I may be missing it.
No, we have not. But again, this came in time before the commission's order ruling on the definition of fiber.
You submitted subsequent supplemental testimonies after the commission ruled on the standard offer contract issue, correct?
We did, but not on this topic, to the best of my knowledge.
Second full paragraph, same page. I'm on page 5 here, sir, of your August 26, 2024 pre-filed testimony. You testify that feedstock will include, for example, clean, non-contaminated lumber and furniture mill residues. Is that correct?
Where are you referring to? What line? My apologies.
I'm sorry. This is lines 5 through 8. It's the second full paragraph here on page 5.
Yes, we did include that. It's written right on the screen.
Excellent. What percentage of the feedstock will these sources comprise?
A minimal percentage. And what I would state at this time is that there is no intended use of wood chips from public rights of way. This is a document that's over 2 years old when it was drafted.
So have you contacted any furniture mills to date?
I would say that's a business confidential matter. It could be, as we've already, it could be discussed under a protective order, but I can't provide commercial details of those discussions if they did exist.
Forgive me, I'm going to move quickly. I'm going to go down to page 16 here of the same testimony. And again, I'm focusing on this testimony, Mr. DeLolio, in part because you haven't revised it. You submitted supplemental testimonies and there was no revisions, and you didn't alert me that there may have been any changes to your testimony. So that's why I'm focusing on this, just for your benefit, okay? Would you agree that question 14 elicits, strike that. Did you testify to aesthetics under 10 V.S.A 6086A8?
Yes, in very limited form, as you'll see on the screen.
Are you a landscape architect?
No.
Do you have a degree in architecture?
No, I do not claim to be an expert in this topic whatsoever, and I do believe that another party in the case has reviewed from their more seasoned and experienced point of view. This was merely just to assess a base understanding of siting of an industrial type facility in an industrial park.
Roughly speaking, how many times has your testimony regarding a project's Queechy analysis been accepted by a Vermont court or by this commission?
In this matter or matters in general?
In general, sir.
Facts not in evidence.
Pardon?
I don't think your last statement came through clearly.
David?
I was just objecting. The last question by Mr. Clyburn assumes facts not in evidence. He assumes that Mr. DeLolio has testified previously. He has, and he can answer that question if he.
In fact, I began the question with, have you? So, Mr. DeLolio, have you previously testified as an aesthetics expert in a Vermont court or in this commission?
No.
Great. Do you have any particular training or experience in acoustics?
No. Where does it reference acoustics under this question, though?
I'm just asking you. Do you have? You can answer the question.
No.
Okay.
But I would rely on our trained professionals that are working or assisting with this project to provide that necessary material, as we have been doing.
Okay. Did you conduct a sound study or have a sound study commissioned?
No, a sound study was not commissioned.
Did you file a sound study?
No, but sound matters are very specific in the record to the testimony supplied by Mr. Alexander Skorakadov.
Do you address sound or noise in your testimony, do you recall?
I see a relationship to the Queechy analysis reference. However, I did not provide any detailed testimony on sound in the way that you're requesting my response.
Oh, sorry.
Just give me a moment. Apologize. Thank you for bearing with me, Mr. Delolio. I'm showing you now page 18 of your August 2024 testimony. Same document we were previously looking at, now page 18. Can you see it on your screen?
This is not from 2026, though. It says it's from 2024.
I misspoke. August 26, 2024. Do you see this on your screen?
Yes, I do.
Great. I'm looking at lines 19, 20, and 21. And there you testify that after reviewing initial plans, the DEC did not require that a sound study be performed as part of the environmental review of the project. Do you recall testifying to that?
Yes, I do. That doesn't relate to an opinion on sound. It's a statement about the Vermont DEC.
Line 18, the project incorporates a fully enclosed insulated generator room within the plant building to reduce ambient noise from the generator sets. Do you recall testifying to that?
Yes, related to specific machinery and materials intended to be used in the project. Again, not related to the study of sound.
But you use the phrase reduce ambient noise. Is it true that you have no professional ability to weigh in on what ambient noise means in the context of an expert opinion?
It is true, but I am providing that information on account of SETI offering that equipment and materials to be incorporated into the project, and I feel it is pertinent information.
You list no experience or training in commercial construction, correct?
Correct. That's why we are relying on seasoned and trained professionals to provide that expertise.
So on what basis do you testify that a fully enclosed generator room within the plant building reduces ambient noise?
Information provided by our EPC contractor, Clean Energy Technologies.
So you have no personal knowledge that this is the case, correct?
I have personal knowledge that it was shared with me.
But you don't have personal knowledge that this is the case, correct?
I'm misunderstanding the question.
You have no-
Objection. He's repeating the same question over and over again.
He's not answering my question.
I don't understand the question. Could you please rephrase it?
Yes, I will. Actually, hearing officer, I'll defer to you. What would you like me to do?
Can you rephrase the question?
So you've testified that you have no particular experience, training, or education in acoustics, correct?
Correct.
So on what basis do you testify that a fully enclosed generator room within a plant building, as here on line 18, reduces ambient noise?
I already provided that information. Again, this is information that was provided to me by the EPC contractor with an understanding that there is an intent to do as you just described.
What does it mean to you when you testified that DEC did not require that a sound study be performed as part of an environmental review of the project? To what document are you referring to there?
Objection. Multiple questions.
That's fair. Mr. Delolli, let me start with the first one. What does it mean to you when you testified that DEC did not require a sound study?
To my best recollection, when we were discussing this with another individual who's testifying today, Maura Hawkins, if this were something that were requested by the DEC, they would have requested one from us, and they did not.
So just to be clear, Mr. Delolio, you're not aware of any authority that the DEC has to require a sound study as part of its air pollution control regulations?
I'm not.
Mr. Delolio didn't testify to that.
Mr. Delolio did testify about the DEC not requiring a sound. Does he have personal knowledge of that? That's simply what I'm asking.
I'm sorry, can you rephrase the question? I couldn't hear you. I was at a car race yesterday and my hearing is a bit off.
I'm sorry for you.
Just restate it, please.
Sure.
I didn't hear you. It was muffled.
Sure. Are you aware of any requirement that the DEC require a sound study other than what you heard from Maura Hawkins?
No, it was shared to me directly by our engineer. It was a licensed professional, and I trusted judgment on that question. And that's the statement that's on the page, as you see, that it relates to.
Mr. DeLolio, do you recall your discovery response to discovery questions to CLF by memory, or shall I share them with you?
I'd prefer that they be on the screen for reference.
Excellent. So again, for the record, and I note Attorney Mears's objection to this, I am showing Mr. DeLolio what I've labeled cross-examination exhibit 2, which is VRG's discovery responses to CLF. This is Mr. DeLolio's response to interrogatory 2. This is on page 3, top of page 3. Mr. DeLolio, can you see this?
Yes.
Great. First sentence of your response: the project is designed as a combined heat and power facility. Is that correct?
Yes.
But just to clarify, that the heat is used solely on site as part of the HTAP technology, correct?
Objection. We're back to Mr. To kind of testifying from a document that's not in evidence relating to information that he can directly ask Mr. DeLolio. This is not cross-examining on the scope of what he was already testifying to. There's been no questions related to the combined heat and power aspects of this. He can just ask Mr. DeLolio. He doesn't need to use the CLF responses for that purpose.
Mr. DeLolio requested that the discovery responses on the screen, so that's why I showed him.
I was asking for clarity because I didn't have a copy of the document you were referring to. I wanted to make sure we were discussing the same document that you referenced.
You weren't required to bring those documents. I'm required to share them pursuant to the memorandum of hearing procedure issued by the hearing officer. So, isn't it true that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna allow you to go forward and ask the questions about combined heat and power.
Thank you, hearing officer. Isn't it true that heat produced by the facility is used solely on site?
Yes.
Isn't it true that heat is not provided to any other buildings or uses outside the facility?
Yes.
Mr. DeLolio, do you recall testifying about orderly development?
Yes, under which specific testimony, though, may you be referring to?
We'll get there. Have you done a study, Mr. DeLolio, about how much the loaded trucks will weigh when they are coming to the facility?
By study, do you mean a professional study or review?
Have you analyzed how much the trucks will weigh when they bring material to the facility?
No, the trucks are operating on roadways of the state of Vermont and are not owned by the facility. We would lean on the providers of material to assure their legal weight.
Then you're probably aware that vehicles weighing more than 99,000 pounds are prohibited on the interstate?
As a combination
Objection.
of,
Ask for facts, not in evidence.
I'll withdraw the question. Mr. DeLolio, is it fair to say that there are two entrances to the industrial park?
yes,
And, I would like to make sure we're on the same mental map here. Can we call one entrance the north entrance and the other entrance the southern entrance? If I said that, do you know what I'm referring to?
if you listed the crossroads, I would be able to confirm.
Well, they both come off Route 5. Perhaps I can bring up an exhibit
Or
here.
which town? Let me rephrase. Which, to make it simpler, which town each one is located at its mouth?
I'm just going to show you an exhibit so we can be on the same page, and then so this is just for purely demonstrative purposes. This is VRG AS1 submitted with Mr. Skorokorov's testimony. I won't mispronounce that twice today, I promise. Can you see my cursor circling near the
Yes,
top?
yes, clearly.
Okay, can we stipulate for purposes of this conversation that that's the northerly entrance?
Certainly.
Great. And then with respect to the other entrance, this also comes off Route 5, and it comes in, we can call it the east entrance if you'd wish to be more technically precise. Is that fair?
Where did your cursor go?
I'm sorry. Do you see where my?
Yes.
Great.
That's,
Would you agree that that's the other entrance to the industrial park?
yes,
Right.
it is. It's the other permitted entrance.
Okay, with bearing that in mind, would you be willing to agree to a CPG condition limiting truck access to the industrial park to using the northern entrance only?
When you say only, is that in all circumstances, even those related to force majeure or weather events that may not be described or anything else that might be emergency related?
Let me re-ask the question. Would VRG be willing to sponsor a CPG condition proscribing truck use in the course of ordinary operations to the use of the northern entrance to the industrial park only?
As a follow-up,
Objection. I'm not sure, are we negotiating a CPG or is this cross-examination of Mr. Delolio's pre-file testimony?
Mr. DeLolio testifies to orderly development, amongst which are traffic considerations in situ here at the industrial park. And I think it's appropriate, given that the two agencies have entered into MOUs with petitioner, that the interveners get their opportunity to ask at some waypoint along the way whether or not a CPG condition is appropriate for their interests as well.
I'll allow him to ask the question.
We consulted, David. Oh, okay. We consulted V.S.A. In consideration of the use of roadways into the industrial park, but I do have to ask again, because you are requesting specific information about a certain piece of criteria that would be essentially a stipulation to the CPG, whether this would be in a way that is more restrictive than other. Are you saying not to use that entrance in a way that would be equivalent or more restrictive than the existing businesses in the industrial park utilizing the roadway? Because I'm just a bit confused, because the map on the screen was identified as the industrial park, and it was an industrial point access to the park.
I'll withdraw the question and note that Mr. DeLilio has not answered it. Mr. DeLilio, how big is the project in terms of acreage?
The disturbed area is approximately 3 acres.
Is there an undisturbed area that's part of the project?
Yes.
How big is that undisturbed area?
Approximately 5 acres.
Mr. DeLilio, do you recall testifying about the deed covenants and restrictions encumbering this property in your pre-filed testimony dated August 26, 2024?
Yes. If you're referring to the deed covenants and restrictions as provided by the Industrial Park Board and the Vermont Northeast Vermont Development Association, then yes.
I'm going to share my screen, Mr. DeLilio. This is, again, your pre-filed testimony dated August 26, 2024. I'm now on page 20, and I'm looking at line 4. Can you confirm you can see what I'm looking at, sir?
Yes, I can.
Great. You testify that while we've determined the views of the project are not adverse, certain supplemental landscaping will be added to the project site as a requirement of the industrial park's deed restrictions and covenants. Is that still your testimony?
Yes, it is. And that was already provided to the commission per exhibits that were provided, to my best recollection, with the testimony of Mr. Jeffrey Oleski, civil engineer.
Excellent. That's very helpful. Thank you. The present owner of the property is the Regional Development Commission, correct?
Yes.
And you reviewed their regional plan, correct?
Correct.
And you've reviewed the deed restrictions and covenants that they provide, correct?
Correct.
Would you agree that the project has to abide by those restrictions and covenants?
As a matter of acceptability in the industrial park, yes, it would be absolutely required by their board. But I would look to their board to describe the exact parameters.
Is it a fair statement that the deed restrictions and covenants in this case are employed to develop the industrial park in a visually attractive and harmonious manner?
Yes,
And that those deed covenants and restrictions set requirements for how each of the lots will look, correct?
well, yes,
For example, setbacks, correct?
correct. And those were incorporated again in the exhibits already provided to the commission.
Excellent. Almost done, Mr. DeLolio. All right, I'm sharing my screen and with Mr. DeLolio an exhibit titled VRGED3. This was submitted with his pre-filed testimony. Mr. DeLolio, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do. Signed by Mr. Kenneth Mason.
And but to the best of your recollection, who is Kenneth Mason?
At the time of the letter, he was the chair of the Lyndon Planning Commission. He's a resident of the town of Lyndon.
And is it fair to say that the last full paragraph in this letter reads as follows? In summary, the PC's recommendation is that you adhere to and comply with Lyndon's town plan.
Yes.
Period.
I do see that.
Okay. All right. Give me just a few moments here. I apologize. Let me just make sure that I don't have any more questions.
Certainly.
Hearing officer, I have nothing further. Thank you, Mr. DeLolio.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, I think on the schedule, CLF had 10 minutes of cross.
That's right.
Maybe we can go with that. Yeah, I think we have time before a break.
Sure. Okay, for the record, Adam Aguirre, attorney with Conservation Law Foundation. Hi, Evan, good to see you.
Good to see you, Adam. Hi.
I just have a couple of quick clarifying questions, and I'll reference just once your pre-filed testimony, but just in general, the questions are kind of bucketed into 3 buckets. So we have one about procurement pathways, a couple of questions about compliance and certification, and then one about continuous improvement. So we'll start with the procurement pathways. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on this. According to the harvest plan that you submitted in conjunction with your pre-filed testimony from April 2026, wood sourced from Vermont has to satisfy one of 2 conditions. Either it has to be enrolled in the current use or use value appraisal system and all the governing standards that apply to those parcels, or if it's not in the current use program, a Vermont licensed professional forester can certify that the sourced wood complies with the UVA management plan, including voluntary harvesting guides. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Oh, Okay, great. I just want to pull up your pre-filed testimony here. Just give me a second. Hopefully this will work correctly. Can you see that? And is it really
Yeah.
small?
Yes, I can.
Okay. The highlighted piece here, so first, do you recognize this as your pre-filed testimony from April 21st, which was subsequently revised on May 5th?
Yes.
Okay, great. And on question 8, you're asked what are the categories of land from which wood may be sourced for the project? In lines 4 through 7, you say, secondly, if land is not enrolled in UVA, a Vermont licensed forester may certify that the harvest area from which the wood was produced complies with the UVA management plan standards applicable to the harvest. Do you see that sentence?
I do, yes.
Okay, I just want to confirm, and this is maybe just me being a really nitpicky, irritating lawyer, but when you say may certify, it's not your contention that those conditions are optional, correct?
No, it's not. I see your statement. No.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I need to share for that. Let me go back to my questions. All right. So procurement, we're all set. Let's go into compliance and certification. So regarding certification with the harvesting plan, so A&R conducts county forester compliance inspections on parcels enrolled in current use, and licensed foresters inspect and verify compliance with UVM management plan standards. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. I just want to clarify, VRG itself will not be doing any inspections, correct?
Of the plans or the harvest areas?
Of the harvest areas themselves.
No mandatory inspections.
Correct. Okay. So this may be obvious, but I just want to confirm how VRG is planning to track Vermont licensed foresters compliance with the certifications of the UVA management plans. So foresters will complete the harvest information sheet for every harvest. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so if VRG maintains a contract with a supplier for multiple harvests, then we would expect to see multiple harvest information sheets accompanying each of those harvests that's supplied.
Correct, and they will be retained by the business.
Okay, great. And they're retained for 4 years. Is that accurate? Is that right?
Yes, per the MOU.
Okay, great. That's all I have there. And then with regard to the forest inventory analysis, which they provide the growth versus removal data for the project woodshed every 10 years. And I know that in your harvest plan, you're conducting a review every 10 years. I assume because that's kind of in line with FIA updates. Can you just talk me through, are you conducting that review every 10 years because of the FIA analysis itself or for some other reason?
The FIA analysis is certainly informative in that process. However, we believe that based on the language in the MOU, it would be the most adequate and responsible way to assure that the facility is not depleting the wood resource in the local forests.
And if you could, and maybe this is kind of outside of your knowledge, so if it is, please just let me know. But do you know why 4 years was chosen? Can you speak a little bit more to like why not every 2 years or why not every 5 years?
Sure. It was to the best of my recollection, it was a position that would allow for continual review in a way that wasn't overly arduous in process. Essentially, it was just deemed to be an appropriate level of having a checkpoint.
Okay, to protect the overall kind of, the sort of to protect the quality of the surrounding forest and harvest land.
Yes.
Okay, that's all the questions that I have. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mears, did you have any redirect that you
I
wanted?
do have a couple of questions. I wouldn't mind taking a break if we could,
Okay.
but I can also ask those questions now.
Is everybody else good with taking a break? I'm okay with that. Okay, how about if we return at, what was it scheduled? In 10 minutes, so, about 10:43 to be very precise. Wait, did I say 10:43? I'm sorry, 53. To be really precise, 10:53. Sorry, 10 minutes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have everyone back? Think so, right? No. Okay, I think we're on redirect of your first witness, Mr. Mutz.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Delolio, there's three areas of questions I want to ask you about briefly. The first category relates to the feedstock that will be used at the facility. Mr. Clyburn asked you a series of questions related to the composition and percentages of the feedstock, and you indicated that it was no longer the case that the statements regarding the proportion of feedstock that will come from farming that qualifies as fiber has changed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So could you explain for the hearing officer what the feedstock for the facility will be based on the current application?
Sure. As was submitted in testimony more recently, the overwhelming majority of the feedstock will be the residues and byproducts associated with timber harvesting, wood chips.
Where in the record is that spelled out?
Yes, specifically. Actually, David, it was in response to discovery questions that Mr. Attorney Clyburn had raised earlier related to this Conservation Law Foundation.
I understand. What I'm asking is where is the best description,
yes.
the most current and up-to-date description of the feedstock that VRG will be using in the plant?
Understood. That was we would be using the MOU that was agreed to with the Agency of Natural Resources as the most current.
Second category, with regard to sound, do you recall the deed restrictions that you discussed with Mr. Clyburn earlier that are imposed by the NVDA Industrial Park on all of its tenants?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall if those deed restrictions include any restrictions on sound?
Yes, I do recall that there was a requirement specific to limitation of nuisance from facilities on site, but not related to a specific decibel level.
Do you recall which exhibit it is I'm looking for right now that includes the actual deed restrictions?
It would have been in the original list of exhibits provided to the commission in August of 2024.
AS5, David.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. I am going to find that real quick and pull that up. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you for your patience. Mr. Dello, can you see my screen with at the top, it's marked Exhibit VRG-AS-5.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to go to the first page of this document. Do you recognize this document?
I do. It was provided by the Northeastern Vermont Development Association.
What is this document?
This is a document that is specific to the deeds and deed covenants and restrictions for the industrial park.
Thank you. I'm going to draw your attention down to page 7. If you'll read paragraph 14. A.
Yes, emit noise in excess of 70 decibels at any property line. I recognize that in relation to, I had asked Clean Energy Technologies as EPC to design the facility and congruence with the stipulations of this covenant, including the matter of sound and noise.
Does VRG commit to meeting that level, that decibel level at the property line?
Yes, because it's a requirement of utilization of the property.
And will you agree to have that as a condition in the CPG?
Yes.
Next topic, Mr. Clyburn asked some questions related to whether or not VRG would agree to truck access site, the locations of truck access. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Would VRG be willing to discuss some restrictions if outside of this hearing process we engaged in negotiations with Mr. Clyburn's clients?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. So are we ready for the next witness?
Yes, Mr. Skorkhodov is available.
Okay, I think I have to swear him in. Actually, maybe we can go back to full screen. That makes sense. Or unshare.
Mr. Skorkhodov, I can't see you on my screen. You need to turn on your camera.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Oh, you are there. Okay, great.
And then maybe can you undo the share for now?
Oh,
Or-
yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No worries.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I believe the witness is ready then.
Thank you very much. Mr. Skorokodov, did I say that correctly, sir?
Yeah, you can call me Alexander or Alex.
Alex?
To avoid mimics playing.
Thank you. So is it, strike that. You've indicated that this particular technology has been deployed 6 times in Europe, correct?
Correct.
Are they located in industrial areas or urban areas or rural areas or agricultural areas?
In industrial areas.
Do you recall, Alexander, off the top of your head, the distance between one of these projects and the nearest residence?
Objection. These are questions that are unrelated to this facility.
The question is,
Yeah, I can answer. I don't recall the exact.
Mr. Skorka, though, wait, let's
distances.
just, Mr. Skorka, you need to wait to answer until we've resolved
yeah.
the objection.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand, Mr. Clyburn, what is the relevance here?
relevance
Okay.
is that under 248B5, health and safety, and orderly development under B1 for that matter, that the distance between the project and residences is a consideration that the commission is required to make a positive finding on. And I'm trying to establish, because there is no other this particular HTAP configuration deployed in the United States, what the distance is between it and other residences in Europe. That's where I'm going with it.
It actually depends on legislation.
Objection. Hold on, Mr. Skorka,
yeah.
though. We have to wait. The hearing officer gets to weigh in on the objection before you answer.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
do you still object, Mr. Mears, to that? Can he answer that question or?
Well, there's no particular harm to answering the question, but it's just not relevant to this matter. What the distance is of projects, not this one, from residential areas or what have you, just isn't relevant in this case.
Yeah.
Can he just answer the question really quickly?
Yeah, we can talk more about VRG situation, not about Serbia or some other countries. But I don't recall exact distances, but I'm pretty certain that local regulations are very strict on air emission in relations to inhabited territories, for sure.
Thank you. How do these 6 projects in Europe that you describe compare to the proposal here in terms of the energy output?
They are very similar. Actually, HTAP system has a design capacity. So it's a one machine, one system with a certain design capacity. But a part of just design capacity, each project has specific energy requirements depending on feedstock use and energy use.
So this project is proposed to produce 2.2 megawatts of energy. Is that correct?
Correct. 2.2 net exported to the grid.
Thank you. So are the European projects more or less commensurate with that amount of output?
Yeah, they were about the same output of energy in synthetic gas. Not all of them are for electrical power generation, some of them for steam generation, for example.
I understand. Have you been to the proposed site in Lyndon for this particular facility?
Even physically?
Yes, sir.
Not yet.
Do you have any training or experience as a sound expert?
I have extensive educational background, including construction management, and I was certified construction project design engineer in Russia. So I have certainly certain level of knowledge in various areas, including noise emission.
I noticed you were an experienced scuba diver. That's very interesting.
Yep.
Are you board certified through the Institute of Noise Control Engineering, sir?
Sorry, second, please.
Are you board certified through the Institute of Noise Control Engineering?
No.
Are you a member of the Acoustical Society of America?
No.
You testified that the sound levels at this project will be negligible. Do you recall testifying to that?
Yes, I do.
In terms of sound pressure levels stated in dBA at the property project line, what does negligible mean to you?
Negligible, in my understanding, doesn't mean we don't hear any sound at all. We can hear sound in certain conditions of site operation or ambient conditions. Several minutes ago, we discovered that we should achieve 70 dBA at the border of the facility.
Isn't it true that a sound study has not been performed for this facility, correct?
Correct. It was not performed.
Have in your, to the best of your recollection, Alexander, have the other facilities you reference in Europe been subjected to sound analyses?
Yes, as part of ecological emission permitting process.
And to the best of your recollection, was the project that was subjected to a sound analysis, was the project amended or changed in any way as a result of the sound analysis?
I can explain how this works in relation to VRG or any other site. Me, as a design engineer, receive requirements from authorities. In this case, we already discovered this 70 dBA. And I design the facility to achieve this value by applying of sound attenuation equipment and controls to the facility. In particular, insulated walls and the rooftop screens and some other sound attenuation controls that we apply. And this is more or less universal, whether it's VRG or other countries, about the same.
Do you recall testifying that the Agency of Natural Resources, or DEC, for purposes of this conversation, essentially the same entity, did not require a sound study as part of the air pollution permit? Do you recall testifying that?
Yes, it was wording related to this matter. But I can explain logic behind this. The facility is located in Lyndon Industrial Park. the park was started construction in 1979, and the park received General Act 250 permit covering the whole territory of the park. So this is one point. Another point is that based on my historical engineering project management knowledge, we are sure that we will achieve 70 dBA at the border of the facility, applying standard sound attenuation technologies. No special things required to achieve this. So we did not perform this sound attenuation or calculations just yet because of the conditions and available to us when I made this testimony.
So you testified that you know that based on your experience as a construction manager, that the noise, the sound level expressed in decibels will not exceed 70 dBA at the parcel boundaries. Do you have experience deploying equipment to record the sound emitted by the facility? Is that what you're basing your opinion on?
Yes, we in some projects we were required to do measurement. If you look at my resume, actually the company I managed constructed not only 6 waste to energy projects, but also many other cogeneration sites in the region. So we have experience building power generation facility, quite extensive one. And we know how to solve sound attenuation problems.
Is the 70 dB also at night, Alexander?
Yes, as far as I know, requirement for Lyndon, Lyndonville, and St. Johnsbury region, 70 dBA, 24 hours, so all day round.
In your pre-filed testimony, you state that the project will receive chipped lignocellulosic fiber that is waste derived from farming operations. Can you tell?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
please go ahead.
Can you just tell me exactly what that consists of?
As you asked Evan about cogeneration efficiency, and probably I am the better person to answer this question. So you're asking me about composition of wood waste, and I am not a good person to reply to this question. I receive lignocellulosic biomass, and my task is to build a system that converted safely and within ecology limitations into the fuel gas and biochar. That's what I'm responsible for. So what I recall from testimonies of VRG, that we are going to use wood waste controlled by memorandum signed with state authorities. So we are not allowed to use anything but certified material.
In that same place in your pre-filed testimony, you state that there will be, quote, a minority of clean, non-farm, woody residues. Do you recall testifying to that?
Oh, if you say so.
Can you describe what that means for me?
The wood waste can come not only from forestry or timber production activities, but also from, for example, construction demolition activities. And a portion of that kind of wood can be also clean and technically can be qualified as renewable wood. But again, according to our recent memorandum with state authorities, we are not allowed to do anything but forestry waste.
So in that same part of your pre-filed testimony, you also indicate that the feedstock will be arriving from local producers. To the best of your ability, can you please describe what local means in this context?
Objection. Mr. Scorba, though, already testified that Evan Delolio is the person that is responsible for determining the source of the material.
I'm simply going off of what Alexander has testified to, but I'm happy to move on if it.
I can respond. We have a expert organization reviewed feedstock supply, and this organization mentioned in the testimony discovered that within 25 miles range from the facility, we have plenty of forestry wood waste, clean forestry and wood waste. If I recall correctly, it's like 4 times more than we needed.
Alexander, do you recall revising your testimony or updating it following the rescinding of the standard offer contract last fall?
No.
Would you agree with me, Alexander, that green woody matter has the potential to spontaneously combust?
Green woody matter. In special situations, probably yes, like leaving it on the open space for a long time. But the question, I think, is not complete. In our case, in case of V.S.A, we are not going to store green woody matter. We are going to process it immediately into energy.
So it's fair to say that trucks pull it, if this facility is constructed as proposed, trucks would pull into it and then offload that green woody material or residues or the feedstock, we can simply call it. They drop that off at the facility, correct?
It will be chips, wood chips. And the trucks will unload wood chips into a bunker. It's like a buffer storage with a moving floor. And this buffer storage will transfer these wood chips inside the building for immediate pretreatment. So we are not going to store anything just on the ground for composting or any other kind of activities.
Do you know if those trucks will have beepers when they back up?
To have what?
Will the trucks have emit a sound, a warning sound, a klaxon as they reverse to drop off their chips into the facility?
I don't know. I'm not an expert in trucks management.
Do you recall whether the sound studies that you testified about earlier contained analyses of truck sounds, that they emit as they're moving around in tight quarters?
No, I don't. But also, you should remember that trucks operations are limited to daylight time. So we have a buffer storage of pretreated feedstock, which is enough for night operations. So we are not going to bring fresh wood chips to the facility during the night.
So the offloading area that's proposed is under a canopy, correct?
Correct.
So it's not an enclosed area, correct?
The under the canopy is only the buffer moving floor storage. The rest is under the roof. The actual pretreatment takes place under the roof. But also, I just want to stress that we have only 3 or 4 trucks coming per day. So we have enough time. It's like, what, if a daylight is 10 hours, we have 1 truck coming every 2 hours or so. So we have enough time to unload the truck, move it under the roof, treat it and store it. So it's not something bulky or something crowded.
Well, I just want to make sure I understand this, Alexander. You just said that there will be trucks delivering wood chips to the facility, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Where are the wood chips being chipped?
By suppliers in the forest probably, or at mills. I can't tell exactly.
So I thought the purpose of the hammer mill was, did we just lose him or?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, sorry. My screen just changed. I'm sorry. I thought the purpose of the hammer mill was to create wood chips from the feedstock.
Not exactly. Wood chips normally have size of about 20 to 30 millimeters. And the feedstock that is supplied to pyrolysis reactor is about 3 millimeter. So the hammer mill is used to grind wood chips into the wood granulate or smaller particles, I would say. The hammer mill is not used to shred the trunk of wood, for example.
Well, just to make sure I understand, it's the hammer mill. The purpose of the hammer mill is to take the wood chips that are trucked to the facility and to homogenize them into a much smaller size for use in the pyrolysis. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And isn't it true that the material that comes out of the hammer mill, this much reduced in size wood chips, that's stored at least for a time in on-site silos, correct?
Correct.
Roughly speaking, Alexander, if the plant is operating under normal regime, how long is a particle, just to pick a data point, how long is a particle in that silo before it's deployed to do work?
Few hours.
Is the silo ever completely emptied once operations begin?
No.
So did you say 3 microns or 3 millimeters?
3 millimeters.
3
The
millimeters.
microns at the
much smaller. I just want to make sure. But it presages my next question, which is with respect to dust. Is there dust? There's dust created with this process, with the hammer mill processing, correct?
the hammer mill is actually a combined machine. It's not only mill as such, it's also the dryer. So it's like a fluidized bed situation. So the chips are bubbling inside this machine, and until they dry, as soon as they dry to the certain level, they bypass the classifier and go to the silo storage. And of course, particles can be 3 millimeter, 1 millimeter, half millimeter. We can't exclude smaller particles formation. But this hammer mill dryer is an enclosed machine, and all hot air exhaust from this machine comes to the cyclone first, and then to the back filter to eliminate particle matter emission to the atmosphere. So we apply this so-called best available control technologies for the hot air control from wood pretreatment. This is absolutely standard solution used for furniture production, for particle board production, whatever. It's just a pretty standard piece of equipment.
Are the silos, I couldn't quite get this from the materials. Are the silos oxygen restricted in any way?
Yeah, they're enclosed. Yeah.
They're enclosed, are there measures taken to control the amount of oxygen in the silos?
Not the amount of oxygen as such. There is no oxygen injection or oxygen ventilation of the silo. So there is a control of level of material in silo and control of the temperature of the silo in case, as you mentioned, it just unexpected overheating or something.
Well, let's talk about that. There surely is a risk of fire with respect to the storage of this material in the silos, correct?
This is a hypothetical statement, I would say. As any engineering solution, we can't guarantee zero risk exclusion. But with proper selection of silo supplier and operational control, we can avoid fire for sure.
Do you have a fire suppression plan in place?
Yes.
For this?
Not in detail, but we will detail it when we will submit drawings and documents to the fire department and fire control department. But yes, we do have subsystems in the facility that control fire, smoke, gas leakage, and other possible hazards. And they're all controlled by PLC system, independent from technology, PLC. and we have it in place. It's a long story, but yeah. No,
I'm sorry.
just
Okay. But
I'm done.
it's a correct statement that you did not file a fire suppression plan in this case. Is that correct? Perhaps I missed it.
Not yet. But using of fire suppression is mentioned in our drawings in general.
And based on what you just told me, I think I know the answer to this, but it's fair to say that you haven't yet coordinated with the local fire departments about how to respond to an emergency here, correct?
No, not yet. But again, this is a standard piece of equipment, nothing special. We use a standard proved piece of technologies to integrate in this facility control system.
So just zooming out, Alexander, just speaking in general now about biomass facilities and wood storage, wood chip storage, that there are, in fact, fire and explosions from time to time related to the storage of woody material, correct?
Yes, I saw your exhibits submitted 15 minutes before this hearing with some links to publications about fires. But if you look at
Alexander, there's no question pending.
Okay. I thought to have a friendly discussion because it's a general. I don't mind to reply. I mean,
Alexander, there's no question pending. You have to wait until Mr. Clyburn asks a question before you answer it.
Okay.
Alexander, we were talking about whether or not you had coordinated with the local fire department or departments because this is a couple towns involved, and you were just testifying that you did take a peek at least at a couple of my proposed exhibits for you and about your thoughts about them. So one of them is a report issued by the federal government with respect to firefighting best practices as a result of the explosion in Maine, which you may know about. So do you have, I haven't asked a question.
Mr. Clyburn's testifying about a facility that has nothing to do with this facility. The point of this is to ask questions, not for Mr. Clyburn to testify.
Hearing officer, the petitioners have filed essentially nothing, as far as I can tell, with respect to health and safety under B5 as it pertains to fire and explosion. And I'm simply trying to understand why that's the case.
So can you ask your question directly? What you're trying to understand from the witness with regard to B5 fire and safety?
Alexander, just to confirm, you have not filed a fire suppression plan with the PUC yet, and you have not coordinated with the local fire departments with respect to this proposal. Is that a fair characterization of your testimony?
Yes, we didn't file this plan yet, but it's not unavoidable. We will do it right after CPG. So it's we can't miss it and can't construct the facility without this plan approval.
And have you filed an other emergency plan document, for example, in the event of a catastrophe or an explosion where not only the fire department responds, but your employees are directed to do certain things? Have you filed anything to that effect?
Not yet, but again, we plan to do so after CPG.
Okay.
People.
And just to be clear, you're aware of other instances in which facilities have experienced a fire or explosion as a result of wood chip storage, correct?
Objection,
Yeah.
assumes facts not in evidence.
No, but I'm a bit of paranoid. When I see information which you, for example, published, and it was published by Mr. Dolgin sometime before. I looked
Mr.
into the
Skorka,
situation.
there's an
Yes.
objection, Penny, so you have to wait
Yeah.
until the objection's resolved before you
Okay.
testify.
I'm not sure how this is relevant, if he's aware of fires at other places. Why don't you direct it to how this pertains to this facility?
Sorry, I just wanted to say
I'm directing that at Mr. Clydemore to rephrase his question.
I'll move on.
Okay.
there is no drama, I wanted to say. But that's it.
I appreciate your forthcoming and honesty. Thank you.
How is, Alexander, how is that live bottom floor technology powered? Is it powered by an electric motor, a diesel motor? How is it powered?
Electrical motor.
And is the electricity generated on site that powers that motor?
Yes, when the facility is operating and produce power, part of the electrical energy used to cover auxiliary power used on site.
Do you know off the top of your head what the sound pressure levels expressed in decibels are from the hammer mill?
No. But again, to my opinion, we should not talk about decibels produced by a piece of equipment. We need to provide a certain decibel level for the whole facility. And hammer mill is installed behind the walls of the plant building and will be insulated.
So there are, if I recall correctly, there are at least one diesel generator, right? A backup generator, is that correct?
We have two pieces of equipment diesel fired. The first is the backup diesel, which is, if I recall correctly, 450 kilowatt. This generator will be used either for backup in case of the blackout and the grid. And we have also a diesel-fired boiler, which is also backup. We will use it for initial cold start of the facility when we have only wet wood chips to prepare initial quantity of dried biomass.
So where is the diesel generator located?
The diesel generator located in insulated container.
And is it fair to say that the diesel fired boiler is also located inside the building behind insulation? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. In addition to biochar, Alexander, are there any other byproducts or waste products produced here?
No, the system is optimized in such a way to produce only fuel gas and biochar. No other discharges from technological process will be produced.
So no discharges, for example, into the stormwater system, correct?
No. The stormwater system, we have just for the kitchen, for the personal water use, that's it, not for technology.
Do you hose down the area where the biochar is stored and picked up? How do you clean that?
Actually, the requirements for biochar treatment are described in our air quality permit. There is a special section or chapter ruling how we should treat it. We plan to pack this biochar into and transport it to the wholesale customers.
Alexander, did you testify to what you just said somewhere else in your pre-filed testimony, that you're going to package biochar and send it to customers?
I'm not sure if the wordings were exactly the same. I can look. You can look into my testimony.
Okay.
But again, as I said, you can look into air quality permit, and everything is described in the document.
How is the biochar conveyed into the temporary storage silo?
It is conveyed by enclosed auger conveyor, because from the pyrolysis area to the biochar storage area by enclosed conveyor.
Does that enclosed conveyor emit any sound?
Yes, of course. Anything makes sound, and but this particular conveyor is insulated, and because the biochar comes with a temperature, it's a hot. This conveyor is insulated by cooling jacket. So you can treat this cooling jacket as a sound attenuation solution to conveyor.
Alexander, I'm curious about this because it's new to me, and maybe it's just me. I'm curious about how you're going to package the biochar. Is there a packaging facility on site? This is just, I think for me, it's the first I'm hearing of it, so I'd like to hear a little bit more.
Under word packaging, I mean not packaging for retail sales and supermarket, but to put it into the special truck, for example. So the truck comes like a cistern and fill the biochar and close the gate and go. So the dust is minimal to this type of transportation of biochar.
So that there is some, potentially anyway, some dust from the biochar. Is that correct?
Potentially, yes, but again, I just can't recall what requirements are in air quality permit. Everything is described in that document. So we plan to strictly follow that requirements, and that's how we treat this particular zone in the facility.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions about the two reactor vessels. Are you using some fluid or other substance to convey that ground and dried feedstock into the reactor vessels? How does that happen from the silo?
No special fluid. It also managed by auger, enclosed auger conveyor. And on top of reactor, we have a airlock mechanism that unload biomass feedstock inside the reactor. So it's a completely isolated and from the atmosphere system. The whole principle of operation of the system is no intentional air intake.
Is there some release valve somewhere on the reactor vessel to account for an emergency, given that the temperatures and pressures involved?
There is no pressure involved. It's a low pressure system that operates at below 1 bar pressure. The temperature is high, 900 degrees Celsius and above. But in terms of emergency situation dealing, there are only two passes for products to leave the reactor. The first pass is in form of fuel gas that goes to generation sets, and the second pass is to go to emergency flare. So we use the flare in case we need to purge the syngas.
And in your experience, does the flare emit any sound?
Probably yes. I'm not an expert on this particular piece of equipment. We source it from again best available control technology catalog, and we use the same flare as used with biogas plants or landfill plants, but we use enclosed version of the flare, so it will be no smoke or no open fire on the top of the chimney of this flare. So everything is enclosed, and I believe that this enclosed core serves also as a sound attenuation of the flare.
So you've never personally experienced a test from the emergency flare?
Oh, I did, but again, I said I'm not an expert. I didn't say that I didn't use it.
So let's talk about the second reactor vessel. There's a phrase that you use that I want to make sure I understand it. You say thermos catalytic cracking. Thermos catalytic cracking. Is that what you mean, or is it thermophore catalytic cracking?
No, it's a
please add,
thermal, like a temperature, thermal.
Yeah. So thermos, THERMOS. That's what you.
No,
that's what,
L and then thermal.
Okay. Thermal.
THRMOL.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
What? So if this is a trade secret, you'll tell me, or your attorney will. But what's the catalyst? Is it aluminum? Is it xylite? What is it?
No, it's not a trade secret. It's a char itself. So we in the first vessel, we separate volatiles and the solid char. And both streams come to the second vessel. And volatiles bubbles through the layer of char. And hot char plays a role of catalyst in this case to crack volatiles into simpler gases.
Earlier, you testified, Alexander, that you hadn't updated your testimony, so I just want to get your take on this. You testify that before, when the petition was filed, it was filed to pursuant to a standard offer power purchase agreement. But now that that's off the table, who's purchasing the power?
We are in negotiation with the same utility, LED, to sign a PPA agreement based on avoided costs rule. I think it's 5.400 or something, or 200. I don't recall correctly the
I
number.
was just going to ask. So in this, do you recall, roughly speaking, Alexander, the context of the system impact statement that you filed as an exhibit?
System and which exhibit?
It's exhibit
We're talking
4,
about-
AS4. Do you have it there? I'm happy to share it with you.
It's a yellow paper. I open it on my screen.
You have it. Okay, excellent. Okay.
Okay.
It's nice not to share so I can see you as we're talking.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is dated December 2023, correct?
November 21st, 2023, correct.
Oh, you know, we may be talking about something different. Let me share my screen with you very quickly, Alexander.
Okay. You're talking about system impact study. Okay, yeah, understand.
Okay.
Mhm.
So would you agree that it's dated December 2023
Yes.
here? Okay. So in this system impact statement, in this exhibit, it describes that the facility as a standard offer project would be dispatched by ISO New England. Correct?
Correct.
So is there an updated SIS after the standard offer contract was rescinded?
We don't need to update the this document because it describes technical aspects of interconnection or ability to interconnect of VRG system to the LED and upstream grid.
Okay, so it will still be dispatchable by ISO New England, correct? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Now, I know that you've testified today and in your testimony that the Guasco biogas engines are insulated. They're inside the building. Is that a fair
Correct.
characterization? Okay. And there are 3 of them, correct?
Correct.
Proposed anyway. What is the sound pressure in decibels that those engines emit. Do you recall?
I do, but again, I want to stress that this information has no meaning for the facility. Because the NEPT engine has like 100 or plus dBA, but engine properly installed in insulated building will have 70 dBA on the facade of the building or on the fence of the facility. So scaring people with high dBA means nothing.
So in a response to a discovery request from the Department of Public Service, you stated that the VRG is amenable to the Public Service Department limiting noise from the project facility to equal to or less than 70 dBA at the property line and equal to or less than 45 dBA at the nearest residence. VRG commits that the proposed facility will meet these limits and commits to post-construction testing if required by the Public Service Department. Do you recall answering that?
I don't recall all wordings you just provided, but yes, when we point to 70 dBA or 45 dBA, yes, that's correct. With only one comment that 45 dBA is measured on the facade of property, of inhabited property. Not on any point, because we have a private property land just across our fence, but on the facade of the inhabited building that we can commit to.
Okay, so it's still your position that VRG is going to commit to that, correct?
Correct. 70 dBA or less at the fence and 45 dBA or less at the facade of inhabited building.
I asked Mr. Delolio this, and I'm going to ask you this as well, Alexander. Isn't it true that you did not file a greenhouse gas assessment of the impacts of this project, correct?
Objection. Mr. Skorkotov didn't testify about greenhouse gas emissions.
Is that
I'll withdraw the question.
okay?
Alexander, can you see what I have on my screen? It's labeled Exhibit VRG AS1. It's something. It's an exhibit that you filed with your pre-filed testimony. Do you recall submitting this?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
So in your pre-filed testimony, you indicate that the project is on parcels C2, C3, C4. Is that correct?
Correct.
And do those correspond to these three parcels as depicted here?
Yes.
So I'm now showing you what you filed as Exhibit VRGAS2. This is page 3 of that exhibit. Can you see this on your screen, Alexander?
Yes, I can see.
Is it the case that that there are three parcels here, the same three parcels that we were looking at in AS1? Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you recall at the top of your head what the total acreage of those parcels are? C2, C3, C4?
About 8 acres.
And I'm sure this is just getting lost in translation. I just want to understand. So now I'm showing you what you filed labeled VRGAS3. This is an image from that exhibit. Can you see this on your screen?
Yes, I do.
So do you see where my cursor is circling over here?
On the left side.
Yeah, exactly. What does the number 13,000 represent?
The heights of the building in millimeters.
In millimeters. Can you take a crack at expressing that in feet?
It's about 40 feet.
40
Yes.
feet? Okay. So do you see where my cursor is now? It's near the words foundation level on the right side of the image.
Yep.
14,380 millimeters. Again, can you just give me a rough estimate of what that is in feet?
Oh, 45.
45. Okay, and then 9,000 as depicted over here by the emergency torch. What in feet does that represent?
27.
Can you say
Multiplied by
that?
3, roughly. 27.
27, thank you. All right, now I'm showing you what you filed as Exhibit AS7. Do you recall filing this?
Conceptualization. Yes, problem. Okay.
So there are some trees here. Do you see these trees depicted?
Mr. Clyburn, maybe for the record, you could say what page we're looking at?
Sure. Exhibit VRG AS7, page 1. Mr. Alexander, can you see where my cursor is circling here?
On the bottom or see
Yeah,
the cursor?
It's near the driveway. There are trees.
Okay, you
depicted
are
there.
pointing to yes, okay. What's the question?
Do you recall what height those trees? Are they intended to be a specific height in this depiction?
Yes, they are intended to be the height of the trees higher than the rooftop of the facility.
And do you recall what that number is?
I just told you about 40 feet.
So, I'm sorry, I was speaking with respect to the trees. So with respect to the trees depicted here, your testimony is that they will exceed the height of the building?
Should be, yes.
Okay.
We have a covenant file for aesthetics, which describes perfectly everything, how
No,
this facility should look like.
Understood. Thank you. Are you planting, is the idea to plant trees that are already taller than the building, or is the idea to plant trees that are shorter and let them grow?
I'm not an expert in planting trees, but I'm sure it is very much possible to plant the tall enough tree. I saw it many times in parks and everywhere.
Just a couple of more questions, sir. I just want to make sure it's correct that there's no screening in the delivery and unloading area, correct?
Wooden screening. It's the area is under the shed. What screen you mean in this case?
It's okay that you don't know. So I want to make sure I understand this. There's no, other than the emergency flare that we've already talked about, and other than the biochar, there's no release valve, for lack of a better word, that's designed into the system on one of the reactors, for example. Is that correct?
No, correct. No other release valves.
Okay. Hearing officer, can I have just 10 seconds to make sure I don't have any other questions? I know we're up against a lunch break. Perhaps we can take a break.
We're okay. We're okay. I
Okay,
think we were
all right.
gonna do a
Thank you.
little bit later on lunch, so. Yeah, it would be great if you can finish before lunch.
Okay, just a couple of more questions. I know everybody's probably hungry.
That's okay. We'll power through.
Alexander, can you see what I'm showing you on the screen as marked as a VRG AS8?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you explain what this document demonstrates, please?
This document was designed by the company Engineering Services of Vermont. The company was used as an expert organization to confirm VRG plant efficiency.
Do you have,
Go ahead. So
We-
this provides information of how much energy stored and biomass, and how much energy in the form of electrical power and heat power we produce, and how we use heat power beneficially for the facility.
Now, I know this is stamped by Jerry Marshall, but were you involved in the production of this document?
I provided Jerry Marshall with initial technical information and specifications for the equipment.
Are you able to calculate the plant overall efficiency yourself?
Technically, yes, but again, I'm not certified Vermont engineer.
Of course. So my question is, I spent a long night trying to figure this out, and I would like you to help me. How does 62.38% appear as the plant overall efficiency given those inputs? Can you describe that for me?
Objection. Mr. Skorokotov already testified that he didn't do these calculations. Mr. Marshall did.
But he did testify that he's capable of doing it on his own.
To drive, for example. But
Is there,
I am capable to do many things.
is
No,
there
not-
just, did his testimony include anything about the calculation of the plant efficiency?
Well, it's a hearing officer. It's his exhibit as an initial matter, but he also responded to it in discovery requests, particularly with respect to CLF. CLF inquired as to the plant efficiency and the greenhouse gas cycle. So I think it's fair game.
If it would be probably a little helpful here, Mr. Mears, if he could just describe in general how it's calculated, so what inputs go into it, which I believe he supplied.
Actually, I already provided the answer about general inputs used. So what's the point? To compromise this calculation, or what do you want to achieve?
I'm trying to figure out how you arrive at 62.38%.
Again, it was calculated by Jerry Marshall, but as I said, we have a certain quantity of energy, chemical energy stored in biomass. We convert this biomass into synthetic gas and char. So the part of the energy stored in synthetic gas converted into electrical power and in gas engines, and they produce electrical power. Then heat from exhaust of engine and heat from jacket water are used to dry biomass. And also this heat is used to drive additional electrical generator, which is organic Rankine cycle, ORC turbine, that produces another 140 kilowatt. So totally, we end up with or Jerry Marshall end up with a number which provided in the plant overall efficiency. Cool. according to regulations, we can account not only electrical power, but heat power as well. That's what is done here.
So this is just energy used on site, correct?
Yeah, useful energy, I would say it. So the using of heat energy for biomass drying and for driving the this small steam turbine or heat turbine qualified as a useful energy.
Okay. Just last question or two. You testified in your pre-file testimony, Alexander, that particulate matter is filtered out of gas in the pyrolysis process in this deployment of technology. What happens to that particulate matter?
After the gas comes to the generator engine and it's burned in the engine, basically, it produces exhaust. And exhaust consists of CO2 mainly, but also some other components like NOx, CO, and whatever. And in order to fulfill air quality requirements, we install a so-called SCR module on exhaust. SCR is a selective catalytic reduction system. It means that it consists of two main parts. The first is catalytic reduction of CO, carbon monoxide, to CO2. So it's basically oxidation of CO to CO2. And the second part is to use urina to reduce NOx quantity. So the urina chemical is injected into the controlled by the system. We source this part of equipment from company Mirotech. They are known as specialized in emission exhaust control equipment. It's worldwide known company, US located.
Alexander, thank you very much for your time today. I have nothing further, Hearing Officer.
Always welcome.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mears, did you want to do any redirect?
I would like to do some redirect. I wouldn't mind giving Mr. Skorkotov a little bit of a break if we could take a lunch break, and then I could do a quick wrap up afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's okay. We can do lunch. Why don't we? I think the schedule had a 45-minute. So why don't we reconvene at 1? Does that make sense to everyone? So
Sounds good.
hopefully you have lunch on hand. Don't have to go out for it. All right, great. So we will be adjourned till 1.
In 35 minutes, yes? Okay.
Looks like everybody's back, so we can start up again. Think we left off with Mr. Mears doing some redirect, I think.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Skorgulov, you're still under oath. I just have a couple of questions to follow up to make sure your testimony is clear. There were some questions about the source of the feedstock into the plant. What will the sources of feedstock into the facility be, and where is that information found in the record?
We have I'm talking about current situation. Currently, we have a stipulation and MOU signed with state agencies. Those documents prescribe us to use forestry wood waste, mostly, with a smaller portion of ag waste, like civil activity. Other materials are not allowed, like construction demolition waste, which I mentioned before. I used as an example, not as a allowable material.
Thank you. There was another set of questions around how stormwater will be managed at the site. Can you describe for us how the stormwater will be managed at the facility?
There is a stormwater permit activity performed by V.S.A. For this, the company Kataman was hired, and Jeff Oleski has testimonies submitted to this, and this stormwater will be discharged, controlled discharge from the facility, and it will be no crossing of stormwater discharge and any material movement on the facility.
And does VRG seeking or already have in place permits from the state of Vermont for the discharge of stormwater?
Yes, it's in the process of receiving permit.
And then the last question, I'm not sure I understood the answer when you described what happens to the particulate matter that's collected by the pollution control equipment for air under the air permit. What happens to the particulate matter or the dust that's captured through the treatment facility?
The material, the wood dust, which will be collected in back filters, bottom section, will be automatically returned back to the common feedstock flow and will be pyrolyzed together with the rest of biomass. So it will be no requirement to collect, to accumulate, collect, or discharge any dust from the facility.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I think the next scheduled witness is Eric Kingsley of VRG. Are you